My name is Craig, and welcome back to the three people who watch all my videos, and anyone else who has happened to get into my room somehow. Episode 22 has been delayed almost a week due to weather problems. The humidity has been between about 75 and 85% for the last week. And today is really the first time. We're down to about 55 at the moment. No, 53. So we're getting ready to do the bridge. I already have a rough location of where the bridge is going to go. Just here. Now before I go further though, as far as placement of the bridge, I want to make sure that it has about the sort of the right contour on the underside of the bridge to fit the guitar, because this is actually a slight arch on this. It's not flat, it's a slight arch, and we need that to fit into that as well. And that's been the problem with humidity. As it's been high humidity, the top of the guitar is going to swell upwards, and that's going to make the arch greater than it would otherwise be. So before we put this big heavy brace on here, we need to make sure it's contoured now to about the right slope, if you like, on the guitar. Well, I've just let it go for about an hour, and we're down to about 45% now, which is very good. And the guitar's had a bit of a chance to acclimatise itself. So what we're going to do now is to use some of this tape. Just 80 grit. Sandpaper. And we know, I've already measured it approximately, it's around about here where the bridge is going to go, so I'll just go and place it over here. And might put a bit of chalk on there. Now before you go further, you may look at this one here. This is a Indian rosewood bridge. I didn't make it, I got it from India many years ago when I was looking around for some reasonably affordable bridge material, whether it be ebony or Indian rosewood. People were selling it in Australia for about $30 to $40 posted, just for a block, and then you had to carve the bridge out of it. This place, I then bought one online from China. It was a Indian rosewood, and well, it was supposed to be, and it was terrible quality. I just couldn't use it. So I saw these ones from India. I thought maybe they'll do a bit better job, and I was very surprised, and they were great. So I've been using them ever since, and these, I buy them, I've got quite a few here now, probably about 50 or 60, but I buy them 10 at a time, and they're about, I think, $10 each when you buy them 10 at a time. That includes postage. So $10 for a bridge that's already carved out for you, and a great job of it. It couldn't go wrong. I mean, compared to maybe $40 for a block of wood. So That's what I've done. Been using those ebony ones ever since. And they also have a lot of different varieties as well. There's at least 6 or 7 different varieties they have. You can have the full carved through here if you want. You can have little pyramid type things on the ends. And a couple other ones as well I think I've seen. So really high quality, really recommended. I can't remember. I think the place I got it from was Violin, India. Something like that. On eBay. So we're just going to put this on here now. And very gently, backwards and forwards. You don't want to press down too much, because that will affect it, because the top will change. So just very gently. Okay, all the chalk is gone. Hopefully this hasn't done any damage. No, I don't think so. Alright, next step. I'll just rough this up a bit before we do more, but the next step is to actually locate our bridge. This is a bridge locator, at least gives us the distance this way. I'll take that tape off, it wasn't quite right. Because if the guitar's done properly, one of the things that should happen is that the alignment along here, say the first string, should match roughly the first hole, and where the 6th string would go should match the 6th hole as well. So we can do that. That's looking pretty good there. I don't know if you can see that. First string's going to come along here. It's about in the centre of that hole. See our 6th string. It's going to be around about here, so just slightly off. It's never going to be perfect anyway. It's going to be pretty close, but never perfect. But we should also find that the distance between here and the side, and the distance between there and the side, should be exactly the same. The distance between here and the back and here and the back should be exactly the same, and also from here to the front and here to the front should be exactly the same. Okay, that's pretty firm now. We can check all the other measurements without having to be worried about $279. $278.5. Next step. I'm going to put a bit more tape around here. Alright, we have hopefully a nice fine cut in the lacquer around there. What we're going to do next is to make sure that this bridge stays in the right position, because I'm going to remove this shortly. And the way I do that is to a couple of these plasterboard screws, 25mm 7Gs. And because we're pretty certain that we have put our bridge in the right position, we're going to show the world that we're certain what we've done is right. And put them in here. So we'll have no more need to measure it out again, etc. Make sure we've got it in the right position. We've assumed that we've got it right. All we've got to do now is to remove the lacquer that's underneath there so we can glue it down. Those screw holes allow us to locate this bridge again when we're gluing it, because there's going to be glue all over the place, squeeze out, and we can't really mark it any other way other than to this works really well. Different way, or we could actually use this to sand all this off, or a smaller one. I've got some smaller ones there. Or we can do it this other way, which is sort of cheating. We can use the chemical way. Some acetone, bit of cloth. We've got to make sure that we don't wet it too much. That's why I'll put this little bit of extra material in case we get a drop onto there. We don't want to do that. It'll just dissolve the lacquer. After having done most of it, you can come in with the chisels now and just take off the small amount around the edges. Once we've done everything we think we can do with the chisel, come in with a small sandpaper. Once we're finished doing our sanding, we can give it a bit of a roughing up. We can take our tape away. As a final chance, just to make sure that everything hasn't moved again, just do a couple more measurements. Get rid of as much as we can of the squeeze out. These screws do a pretty good job for at least keeping that part down, But our wings and our top here, we're going to need to look after those as well.